Hello everyone, I got a bit late to release my video, so just I was stuck up somewhere. Isliye I got a bit late. So let's start up with the classes. What I did is I just compressed the segments because we have got very huge segment in interior designing. Somewhere around it will take 650 hours, so we cannot go that long. So I have compressed the segments. I'll just narrate the segments into all of my classes will be completed within 25 to 30 hours, and each of my video will be like 15 minutes or 17 minutes, not more than that. उससे ज़्यादा तो मैं खुद नहीं झेल पाती किसी को. Then how can I expect that somebody can jail me this long? So that's not possible. At my end also I cannot speak this long. So I have segmented in small packets. So these segments are like history, anthropology, technical this dimensions that most probably I'm gonna cover with the anthropology itself, and drawing presentations and executional ways, right? Yeah, more or less these are the segments I have bifurcated. So one video, whenever I release the video, one will be completely of the history, and when I release another video of mine, that will carry all of the things all together regardless to history, right? Yeah, because we carry a great huge big part in history. And one more thing I want to tell you, history that is for architects and that we have adopted in our interiors, right? Interior designers were not before 1950s. This emerged as a profession after 1950s. You can say like post Second World War. Yeah, this emerged as a profession because that moment architects got a bit busy, or aesthetically they were उनको बहुत time निकालना होता था. Though they were quite busy with the technical drawings of the structural buildings, so they started keeping assistants who used to take care the aesthetic part of the interior segments. So from there the profession has been emerged as an interior designers. So basically we are just one line below to the architects. So we have to follow all the standards regarding the interiors. I'm not talking about the structural buildings. Regarding the interior designing, we have to follow all the structural dimensions and standard dimensions what are being provided to us. Those are universal too and functional too, right? So this was the basic difference between one of the more basic difference between an architect and an interior designer is an architect has to abide by the rules provided by the country, state and local bodies to design a structural building or to design any structure, right? So they completely deal with the technical requirements, and when you come to the part of interior designer, they just deal with the aesthetic part, psychological and emotional balancement of the particular client's requirement, right? An architect has nothing to do with that. He just has to know, he's just more, he has to put more energy than us. We got nothing much more to do as compared to an architect. So we are just one line below to them. It's one of the requests to all interior designers. When you start practicing after 4 years, after 5 years, I have seen some designers, some of my colleagues also, they start thinking themselves exactly to the line of an architect. So you're never there. Just respect them. Some of the people I have seen, if an architect has drawn a window in a particular area, a designer comes and without making any sense out of that ki why this window has been kept over here, they just say ye mere design mein nahi aayega, just close this window. No, you're nobody to do that. First of all, you just look at the thing. Maybe for the wind circulation they have done it, or for the light, for the ventilation, for the for east west ka wo jo energy hota hai, for that sun energy. You never know for what that window has been kept over there. You're always supposed to first call up the architect and ask him ki sir, for what this window has been kept, can I remove it or can I close it down because it's disturbing my design. Then he's gonna tell you the reason, and if he's not having the reason, you can do it. But until and unless without the prior permission of an architect, you're not supposed to do this. I dragged it too much. But basically I explained this thing to everyone, and that's a cutsy too. You are always supposed to ask an architect before doing any interior work of any site that so this and this particular, sir or ma'am, whomsoever, this and this particular architectural design of yours. I'm continuing with the interior designing. So just have a meeting once and try to understand why and for what the windows, the doors and the ventilators and the niches are being played according to the structural design, and then move for the interior designing. Some of the people don't know why this niche has been kept. They conceal it, right? They conceal it, exactly, and it's not to be done. Maybe he have kept with a perspective कि वहाँ पे एक family collage आ जाए or something like that. Whatsoever, he has kept with a perspective. So first step of interior designing is to go have an appointment with an architect for from that architect जिसका मतलब I mean you're designing the structure, who has designed the structure and you're doing the interiors with, right? So just have the conversation, try and understand the drawings thoroughly, that for what and for why this has been done, and once you're done with, then you start with your job. So as I told you previously, this the segments I have bifurcated. So today I think we'll just start with the elements and principles of interior designing, right? So elements carry mostly 7.7, but space, I just don't go with the space one, because I think space is a very huge subject, so I just don't keep it under the elements. That is mandatory to keep it, but I'll explain it later on. So line, form, pattern, texture, color, light, these are the 6 elements of interior designing. Line is the basic thing through which you form any shape, size or pattern or anything. Form is the thing that 4 lines or any line adjacents you join and you get any shape. A shape, you cannot say it's shape, you can get any form in the plan, right? That is called form. It's totally coordinated with the mass, with the area of the lines you formed inside that border of the lines. That is called form. That which form you have got through the lines, like it's a rectangle, it's a square, it's a circle, or it's a cylindrical cone, or anything like that, right? This is a form. And when you come to texture, texture is totally up to the surface. Surface means surface of a wall, surface of a furniture or anything where you can feel the texture, that it's rough or it's smooth. Fine, yeah. Then you come to the pattern. Pattern is another important part in interior designing. Many of the people start designing things and they don't keep in mind that what pattern they want. Like if I'm working into a designing of a bar or a lobby or a college classroom, whatsoever it is, first of all there are some steps. The steps are like, you have to study the plan, right? Do the planning, do the placements, do the pattern concepts, then you go through the designing. People immediately start designing when they get the plan. You have not went thoroughly through the plan, then how could you know why this door has been kept over here, for what this niche is being used? Or if you are getting a window, should I put a painting, should I put a main effect or anything that light comes and reflects into that and it beautifies that particular area? So the first most important part is go through the planning. And then the placements, that where and what you want exactly into the plan. And then you go to the patterns. Like patterns in the sense ki you want the wall to be done in the floral pattern, vector pattern or Victorian pattern, whatever the pattern you want, that is called pattern. Like somebody wears a shirt with the flower design, floral design, you call it floral pattern. It's a pattern. A pattern means you understood now. I think this much is understood for you. I'm not a professional teacher. I get scared sometimes that is I'm communicative to you or not. So pattern we are done with. Light, another important segment. It's not important, it's a huge lifeline segment, you can say, like light. I have seen in residences pan-India level as I have worked. This is not seen. This I have experienced in many places, that people don't know the proper and correct use of the light. In one single bedroom that is 10 cross 10, they put 6 lights, that too of 16 wattage. It's actually not needed. Lights means it's I mean, there is a illuminatory requirement in particular area that will further, I mean, I'll explain you further in the technicality classes. Right away it will drag lengthy, so I don't want to drag anymore. So lights are, I mean, decide करना चाहिए पहले कि how much lights are being required in that room. Like if you are putting a wall painting in the left hand side of your wall, give a spotlight over there to spot it. I have seen people putting spotlight senselessly anywhere where they don't know for what this light is being done. Spotlight is being, I mean, to highlight something to a particular wall, to a particular painting, to a particular texture, from where the reflection is needed of light. We put spotlights over there, and we put panel lights for only the lighting part. So don't put ample of panel lights, like it looks like, I mean, kapde ki shop dikhne lagti hai, or you feel like you entered into a showroom to just look at the cars and all. So we put ample of lights there, not at residence. For studies you need. Some people ask me, we study a lot, so this much lights would not be sufficient for us. So boss, everywhere in room you cannot study, na? You have a particular space for study, right? So at that place you can put a study lamp, and rest of the area it should be in a minimal lighting. बहुत ज़्यादा lightings होती है that reflects your eye, that affects your eyes. So that's one of the important part in lighting segment. I'll just tell you later on. It will take at least 3 sessions because lighting segment is a huge subject to go on. This is the light. I'll just stop the light over here. And next is color. Color is the one of the very most important part of element, because this is the thing that we play with everything. Either you call pattern, line, form, or anything. Everywhere you have to play with the colors, so you have to be very careful for the colors. Like colors, we have primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. Primary colors are those colors, by mixing of any 2 colors we cannot get a primary color, right? By mixing of 2 primary colors we can get a secondary color, and by mixing of 3 colors of secondary all 3, or primary 1, secondary 2, or any of the 3 colors from the both above topics, we can get a tertiary color, right? So when it's a viewing subject, it means when I'm talking about a wall or a very big huge surface, tertiary colors are being used moreover because they soothe your eyes. Only those colors are being kept, those don't immediately attack your eyes, right? Attack in the sense, not that attack in the sense when you look at them, वो कहता है ना कि चुभ रहा है आँखों में, that attack. Yeah, so we are supposed to play it with a rhythm, with a particular proportion. When you talk about primary colors can be mixed, not mixed. Primary colors all together could be used, they look pretty. But when you talk about secondary colors, when we use them all together in a particular place, it doesn't gives out that result what we actually want. And one more important thing, in secondary colors people call it purple, but it's not purple, it's violet. There is a huge difference between purple and a violet color. So in secondary color what we get is violet color. Yeah, so we have this green color, orange and violet in secondary color. Primary color we have red, blue and yellow. Tertiary colors, rest of the colors we have it. So just imagine, go through the imagination. If you are designing a furniture, just violet and green, it will never suit. Violet and orange, it's never gonna suit. But when you speak about yellow and blue, red and blue, it looks pretty. The proportion is up to you, that how you're using the proportion. This is all up to you. So we are done with the elements, and now the principles. Principles of interior designing are firstly is balance, emphasis, rhythm, proportion, and the other one is unity of harmony, right? These are the principles of interior designing. Balance is, you can balance any of your designs by symmetric and asymmetric proportion. Not proportion, you can say symmetric balancement and asymmetric balance. Like symmetric used to be, when I talk about Victorian style of furnitures, whatever I say, just note down the words in which you are being confused, mail me, I'll just narrate those words, or Google that, you'll find it, right? Victorian style of designing, you go through the Victorian style of designing, you'll get the same design in your chairs carving, beds carving, and side tables, all the things in a room, all furniture is occupied by a room, you'll get the same carving design. That is called symmetry of a particular design. To balance the design, that I must carry a genre that which I'm working. I'm working in a Victorian pattern, I'm working with the Italian pattern, either I'm working with a Indo-Western pattern, or what we are working with. Is that a fusion? Is that a what do you call it? I mean, single based pattern. So there are many things. So this is what symmetric is all up to you. Symmetry designs nowadays, they are not being working. Nowadays what we are doing is asymmetric pattern. Asymmetric pattern is you can you can coordinate that with the contemporary style of designing. A contemporary style of designing, what we do is we put a L couch, L sofa, we put 2 accent chairs, we put a small couch over there, we put a round puffy over there. So these are not symmetric, but still then there is a proper rhythm that through which we just see them, we just look at them, and we can understand kia this being designed in a manner. And no doubt it's asymmetric, but it's in a proper ratio, proper proportion. Like now comes the proportion also. Proportion means proportion of color, proportion of weight, proportion of any material you are using. Like if I'm designing a TV unit and all of the bedroom is being occupied through a veneer or through an upholstery of the same or more or less 3 or 4 colors, and all together I just put it into the TV unit, it will not proportionate in that manner. So we just have to guideline the proportion. I mean, how do I explain you? Sometimes I lack of examples. From the very next time I'm going to keep some examples, because I know, but I don't know how to explain. Yeah, I got the example. I got it. Like some of the modular kitchen store, you have been went over there. Nowadays all single color is being used, but prior to 6 to 7 years, or you can go 10 years back, there the people used to do 2 colors, 3 colors, and that I don't know how people do it, but I don't like it personally. 2 colors people used to do. We used to have 3 drawers. First drawer is light color, second middle one is dark, and another one is again light, and they'll go exactly same with all of the things. That is what we call is rhythm. It's another principle of interior designing, rhythm. That our eye catches one design, and we go through that design till the end, from the starting. That is what we call rhythm. We should not leave our rhythm in designing, but that exactly doesn't goes with the color or something like that. That is of designing pattern. Like if I'm playing with pine wood, and if I'm playing with some veneer, if I'm playing with neon card sheet board, something like that, so I must play with those only. I should not include any more what do you call it, materials into that. So that is a proper rhythm and proportion, right? And emphasis is also a very important point. Emphasis means a center point where you want कि यार ये चीज़ मेरी दिखनी चाहिए डिज़ाइनिंग में. Like I feel is I'm very fond of paintings, I'm very fond of wallpapers. Some of the times I love chandeliers and hanging lights too. So when a room is being designed, you want one thing कि people come and that should be the eye catcher of your design. That is what called emphasis, right? This is a proper definition. You can go for the emphasis. And unity of harmony is another hell hectic subject that people forget very easily, because unity of harmony means it's completeness of a design. Like I'll tell you, you have designed a restaurant, You arranged all the tables and chairs in a proper manner. You just place the lights, place the hanging lights, and when you come to the counter area or reception area, whatever it is, when you come to the counter area, just don't find those lights. You feel something incompleteness. You feel like there is something something that is not coordinating with the design. That is called the incompleteness of the design. And the completeness of design is called unity of harmony. You should always maintain that through the designing completely, all over the designing. So these are the points I have explained you, and today I dragged it a bit lengthy, and from the next video of mine I'll be taking the history subject, and later on to that I'll be taking the anthropology, and history is being segmented again in 7 segments. So there is a huge subject, that is history. And yes, if you have any queries, any questions, just go through my mailing ID and just type all your queries. Let them be silly, let them be, whatever into your mind, just go through my mailing ID, just type it down, and then I'll just mail you back, I'll just revert you back. And one more request, no bully comments in my comment box. Really, I really won't like those things. मतलब मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता that you can say like a respect, or if you don't like my videos, then just don't look at them. But if you like them, just don't write anything shit below. Thank you.